Alright, we got some Persephone, and I think Declaration Grooming has a Persephone. Correct me if I'm wrong. And it's funny that this one's called Persephone. I didn't even think about it until just now. But I used a beer yesterday from Mexico called Petrichor, and Barrister and Man has a soap called Petrichor. So I'm using a beer today that we have an equivalent in the wet shaving world, and I used a beer yesterday that there's an equivalent in the wet shaving world. Kind of funny. But this one here is from Madueño Brewing, and this is one of the ones that I brought back from my travels to Mexico. So if you can see right over there, it says Madueño Brewing Company, and sorry if I'm saying it wrong, but I speak DK, I don't speak whatever, or I don't speak Spanish, so I speak DK. And this is a peanut butter milk stout, coming in at 5.7%, so it is pretty damn crushable, if I don't say so myself. It has some really nice artwork, I kind of like it. And let's see. Yeah, I don't know Spanish. I can't tell you anything other than that, but at least it says peanut butter milk stout in English. Ooh, and look at that head roaring out. I definitely get some peanut butter on the nose. Okay. Thankfully, this one isn't as aggressively carbonated as one of the other Mexican beers that I brought back. This one's actually right where it should be. I know it kind of foamed up at first, but that's fine. That was good. Let me take another swig. I had one to coat the palate, and this one here, I'll let you know what I'm getting. So, a lot of times peanut butter in beer doesn't come across just right. And it's kind of like a drier version of what you think of when you have like sweet, creamy peanut butter, like on a sandwich or on your French toast or on your hamburger. I don't know if you guys do that kind of shit, but it's pretty good. Crunchy peanut butter on a bacon cheeseburger. Jeez, son. Anyhow, this one has kind of a drier, less sweet peanut butter taste. It's definitely, I think they try to compensate for it not being as creamy by making it a milk stout. Milk stout has milk sugar, which makes it a little bit more sweet and a little bit more creamy. And so you get this peanut butter-esque flavor, but it's not quite right. But in the long run, it still tastes good. So I think they did a pretty good job with this. I've had better peanut butter in beer, but this isn't bad. So cheers, Madueño. Alright, we're using a Mexican beer. Or we're drinking a Mexican beer, we're using a Mexican soap, and this one is from Archaic Alchemy. Now, this is the Eureka scent, and Eureka is woody, herbal, aromatic fougere. Look at my notes. 13.8 or $13.80, 5.3 ounces. I'll give you a look at some of the side label stuffs. Now it's in Spanish, but you can see there, made in Mexico. Some social media. Very nice side label. Ingredients. So very nice labeling, packaging. And it's a good price for a lot of product. I guess I could let you look at the soap, but I have used it before. Good look at the soap. It's a somewhat firm soap, but it is pliable, you know what I mean? It's not like triple milled. I got a nice looking lather whipped up in the Lancaster Razor Works bowl. And we are using the Turn and Shave Custom. And this one has the emerald with gold flake. And we got a V4 tip knot on here. And this one is, I think, 26 millimeter. So, I am shooting this the night before Cinco de Mayo, so this should air Cinco de Mayo. Normally, I do not plan my shaves ahead, but today I have a shave planned for tomorrow night. And so I kind of figured in this special circumstance, I will do a planned shave ahead of time, and for once in my life, be looked at as a professional YouTuber. And so, now the length of this shave might blow that right out of the water, but my intentions were in the right place. Now, the lathering experience with this V4 tip knot has never been super enjoyable for me. It's so super gelled, this badger knot, that it just makes lathering kind of a pain in the ass. I feel like I have to work harder than I do with other knots. The tips on this are so soft that regardless of the amount of backbone it has, I feel like they just don't pick up enough soap, and even if they do, the knot is dense, so it eats some of that lather, and it's just always something. It's always something with this fucking knot, and the only way I've learned to get up out of that is to just load heavy, and so that's what I did today. I will say, though, this Archaic Alchemy made a hell of a lather, and I didn't even use all the product in the bowl. Like, I know there's going to be some soap stuck to the walls of the bowl when I clean it out after this shave. I got a lot of lather down there. Anyhow, we're going to be using the Kamisori. I got this one from Putting Roots Down on Etsy, and now I think they're called Legacy Razor or Legacy Shave. Regardless, look it up. Google that bitch. Anyhow, the reason I picked this up is because they had a bunch of vintage Kamisoris, and these are traditional grinds, so it's not a Western grind, which means one side is honed and the other side, I guess the other side's honed too, but it's to a different angle. So these were meant to be used with one hand, but I suppose you could use two hands. Anyhow, I better get to shaving. So, let's see. Yeah, that's good. So, got a couple Mexican products here today. I tried to use a few reds and greens along with it, just for a little extra added flair. It might not make much difference because it's not actually Mexican made products, but I tried to do a little Mexican flag theme type deal. Throw a little bit of red and green in there. Use a couple Mexican made products. And just enjoy the shave. I really enjoyed my time in Mexico. It would have been badass if I could have had a real barbershop experience down there in Mexico, but I just didn't really make time for it. I was in Cancun, so we were kind of just going while we were down there, me and my wife and one of my childhood friends. Anyhow, I originally started seeking out this, not the Kamisori, the soap, Archaic Alchemy. I originally started seeking out Archaic Alchemy because of Cinco de Mayo. I was trying to plan ahead a few years back and get a Mexican-made artisan shaving soap. And I only truly knew of one, and I rarely seen Archaic Alchemy, but it was the only one that I knew of. So it's not like I knew it was readily available. I just kind of figured it wasn't popular. But I knew it was a Mexican-made product. And so, for the first time ever, I tried hunting it down. And they had a website that was up and running, or at least a storefront that was up and running. But much to my dismay, every single product was exhausted, which is how they had it listed in English, exhausted. So that must have been like when Google Translate said out of stock. But so I was pretty bummed about that. But when I had asked around, people told me, hey, you could still get it. You just have to contact the dude directly, you know? And so I messaged him on Facebook, I messaged him on Instagram, and I got no reply. And, you know, Cinco de Mayo passed by, and so kind of did my hopes of getting this soap. They just kind of went to the wayside, and I gave up on it, and it was kind of out of sight, out of mind. And sometime earlier this year, not too long ago, HD Shaves on YouTube, I was watching his channel, and he mentioned that he got in contact with the maker of Archaic Alchemy, and he said he was going to make an order, and he was thinking of taking a group order, you know, so if people were interested in getting in on it, that they would just make one big order and have it all sent to the States all at once. We got plenty of lather left, like I said. And I really do enjoy this Archaic Alchemy lather. I think it's some really good shit. And that's not just because I had to put in the hunt. And it's not just a rewarded feeling of finally having this stuff. It's actually a pretty respectable lather. I like it. But anyways, back to the story. He's taking a group order, and I just couldn't believe that the stars align like this. And so I told him, you know, hell yeah, I am interested. And I told him my story of how I kind of wanted to get some a few years back and struck out. And anyways, it all came together. I put in my order for a couple soaps that sounded good. And everything worked out. It came to the States, and it got shipped out to me in a good, timely manner. Thank you, HD Shaves. And the best part about it was I liked both scents. I liked the lather that it made, and I could just, you know, be happy about it, you know, after all this time had went by. So I thought that was pretty cool. Anyhow, the lather is most definitely doing its job. I've used this Kamisori a handful of times, and I've mentioned every time that it is not my favorite edge. This is one that I wouldn't mind sending out and having someone else who has experience with honing and hopefully experience honing Kamisoris. This is one that I would really, I would really like to send out. And just have them kill the edge and start over with a whole new progression. You know what I mean? There's just something about this one that it just doesn't quite feel as sharp and as smooth as some of my others. But that is a nice fucking lather. It's dense. It's luxurious. That's a nice fucking lather. That's a great price for a fucking artisan shaving soap too. And the scent on this one is beautiful. I'm pairing it with Cinco de Lavande from Declaration Grooming. And they're different. Cinco de Lavande is way more lavender forward, but I feel like this one has a nice lavender note built into its fougere DNA. And you can see here, I got myself going downward. That's definitely a weeper. There was no blemish there. I think it's just from that edge. But this one has a kind of sweet DNA, like a sweet herbaceous DNA built in to its spicy fougere with a nice lavender note. I like it. Hopefully I didn't cut too deep right there. I guess we'll see when I clear the lather. Definitely not my best outing here. Anyways, so big fan of the soap. I finally get to use Archaic Alchemy on Cinco de Mayo like I wanted to so many years ago. You just gotta kinda be patient and wait for things to fall into place, I guess. And you know what? I just noticed I'm doing another with the grain pass instead of an against the grain pass. Let's kind of feel around. Yeah, it doesn't feel bad. I'm not BBS, but I'm kind of already in that DFS range. I don't want to push it. But I did go with the grain twice. It has decent residual slickness, and the residual slickness isn't off the charts, but the original slickness is quite nice, and it's a very dense, luxurious feeling lather. You know what? I think that'll be fine. I'm not going to push it. I have had irritation in the past using that Kamisori, and I think it's just because it's not, either my technique isn't up to snuff with Kamisoris, or it's just not a sharp enough edge for my beard. And I'm open to either possibility. But in any case, there's no reason to push it. That right there was a nice shave. And so we'll just end it on a good note rather than push it and then have all this irritation and possibly more weepers. But it's always a pleasure using these Archaic Alchemy soaps. I have one other Archaic Alchemy scent. I really wish I would have got their Gourmand one. I guess it has like chocolate and spices and whatnot. And I really wish I would have got that one. Somehow, that really snuck under the radar, because if I would have, I think if I would have saw it, I would have ordered it for sure. I would have ordered a third soap. Because as soon as I saw that other people got it, I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I didn't realize that was an option. And so, anyways. So we'll go ahead and finish this Cinco de Mayo shave with a not matching aftershave, but it is somewhat complementary, and that is Chomps de Lavande. And like I said, that's a lavender forward scent. But I do think Eureka's Fougere has a spicy lavender note, so complementary, although it's not the same. So I'll just give you guys a little peek. We'll give it a little shake, and then we'll do a little splash with the industry standard restrictor there. I was happy to find out I did not have a ton of irritation from my intense menthol madness shave. I was pleased to see this morning that my skin looked somewhat normal. I did finish the night with a bit of Tonka Bean Shave Company's skin serum, which is kind of like good oleo. Alright, now that stuff smells good. That is a Chatillon Luxe created fragrance. That Chomps de Lavande, good stuff. A nice lavender, one of my favorite lavenders. Anyways, guys, that'll conclude this shave, a Cinco de Mayo shave with some nice Mexican products. Cheers, guys. I should say salud. I appreciate all your guys' support, and I'll catch you on the next one.